Well, I liked all the Smash games when they came out. Like I like Smash 64 and I like Melee a lot. So I was like, I just played the game a lot for a few years, and then I found out that there's tournaments. So I was like, let me try to be the best at that. And then 2 years later, I was the best.
Over the course of his 12-year career, Jason Mew2King Zimmerman has been known as many things. He's been the best Super Smash Bros. Melee player in the world.
Jason!
Popping off. Popped off and walked off. That is wild.
One of the 5 gods of Smash, a frame data pioneer, the only player to be ranked #1 in both Melee and its sequel, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, at the same time.
Right when I started turns, people would put me like top 25 in the world like pretty fast. Like top 25, I was at like ranked 15th pretty quickly. And then I became ranked 1 about a year and a half later.
But above all else, Mew2King is proof that if you work hard enough, you can be the best. Mew2King was born on February 5th, 1989 in Cinnaminson, New Jersey, and became obsessed with video games at a young age. On his old websites, he listed endless records he had in games like F-Zero GX, Mario Kart Double Dash, and, of course, Super Smash Bros. Melee. But when M2K started playing competitively, he failed to make a mark. Simply put, he just wasn't that good.
He wasn't a natural by any means, but he had a work ethic at the time that was unmatched, and for most players still is unmatched.
You can only get so good off never playing a human that knows anything about the game. Like, of course, their first time is gonna be like, oh, well, you have a lot to learn. That's natural.
There isn't much footage of that time in Mew2King's life, because no one cared about a player who couldn't succeed. He decided to do his homework and study. Mew2King spent hours upon hours amassing information about the game. If he wasn't good at the game, he needed to know everything about it. Frame data, percentages, recovery time, get up attacks, ledge grabs, item stats, ranges, invincibility timers, escape, fall speed, everything. M2K pioneered data on Melee. He knew things no one else would for years, and he shared it online.
I was a kid alone, and I was just like, kind of the kid who was just curious about everything. And I was like, I wonder how fast this move is, or I wonder how far this goes, just because you're curious. And just being curious makes you just want to know things.
By year 2005, he started entering real tournaments and started climbing fast. He went from 23rd to 9th to 3rd. At MLG New York, M2K placed 7th. At MLG Dallas, he fell to 8th, but he kept pushing. 3rd in Chicago, 4th in Las Vegas, 2nd in Long Island, 1st at EVO East, and 1st at EVO West. He wasn't just good, he was constantly getting better. By 2007, he went from being an unknown scrub to a contender for the best in the world. He was caught in a 3-way race with Daniel, Korean DJ Jung, and Christopher PC Chris Siegel for the title of best in the world. But their struggle was put aside momentarily with the release of Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Brawl was a slower, less complicated game, and one that most Melee players didn't like. But M2K saw Brawl as different, not necessarily worse, and started grinding once again.
Obviously, and then Brawl came out, and I was like, let's try to be the best at that, and then I became the best at that.
Mew2King was the top-ranked Melee and Brawl player in the world from 2008 to 2009. The Melee scene was stagnating, but M2K was still one of the best, and he proved it at Revival of Melee. MLG had pulled out of Smash in 2007, so the community returned to their grassroots nature and put on the biggest Melee tournament since the release of Brawl.
I told Alucard from New York or something, it's like, okay, if you host a ramen and you invite Mango, then I'll go. Then I'll go and I'll have more motivation to actually care, because right now it's just like, just beat everyone for free except Mango. And that's actually funny, because that's actually what happened, because I beat everyone for free except Mango.
Stab in the feet. Waddy makes a fruit joke. Wouldn't be Waddy's first fruit joke, so not his last. Join Jigglypuff. Back there at like 150. She's supposed to die early. What is this shit? And then she up throws, and now it's game over. Wow. Oh! Oh! Damn! All he's gotta do is not get hit by any of Jinx's moves. So we're a lot of them. So they're all really good. I just don't understand how she is where she is on the tier list. Damn. I gotta take the lead on M2K's counter pick now. Okay, well that's dirty. Hey, it's dirty because there's no risk involved. You just jump. Alright, someone's pissed. Mango choking back a smile. He's biting his lip. That's alright, Mango. You can smile. You give us a smile. It's okay. You did it. You did it. It's alright.
M2K worked his way through the bracket until he faced Branson, DaShizWiz, Layton in the losers finals. Despite his incredible play, Mew2King started building up bad press. The once revered player became a controversial figure after several bracket manipulation incidents came to light. As a result, M2K was banned from the 2010 MLG finals after he took $500 from Wyatt ADHD Beekman, who beat him in the losers finals. In May 2011, Mew2King, ADHD, and Jason Bates were given yellow cards for splitting their prize money following Mew2King's 4th place forfeit. Later that year, at Genesis 2, Mew2King was given a red card for allegedly sandbagging in pools. M2K defended himself by saying he wasn't in a good mood during the sets, and claiming pot splitting was common practice back then. But the damage was done. Mew2King's image was shot, and smashers were spreading rumors and exaggerating tales of Mew2King being awkward or otherwise embarrassing.
After late 2010, there's like a 3-year time period where it's just like kind of soul searching in life. I just didn't really have motivation for whatever.
LOL M2K became a growing meme within the community, and the only way to silence the haters was to conquer them.
Follow me on Twitch. And MBG. What's that? Why you do? Are you a baby? Shut up! Alright guys, I'll see you later. I'm leaving.
In late 2013, Mew2King won 17 straight Melee tournaments after not having taken a major in nearly a year. His slump didn't matter. The controversies vanished. But since then, Mew2King has struggled. The release of Super Smash Bros. For Wii U effectively killed Brawl. And while M2K was extremely strong in Smash 4 at the start, he could not keep it up. He leaned back on Melee, where he's continued to consistently place in the top 8, but he isn't dominating anymore.
Oh, the Waveland back.
And that'll do it.
And Mango is your SmashCon 2017 champion.
He might not finish in first place every time, but he's always a contender.
Oh, gets another grab. Oh! Bitch just said that.
Oh! Will we see a pop-off? No, we won't. Damn.
Phenomenal from Mew2King.
Simply put, you can never count out Mew2King. He's taken first place at least one Melee tournament every single year since 2006. And he didn't do it through raw skill or having the best practice partners. He did it by doing his homework, studying more, and working harder than almost any smasher in the business. He is proof that anyone can win, anyone can be the best, anyone can stay the best, that the king can always return. Mew2King is more than a god. Mew2King is an institution.
Thanks for watching. If you want more great content, be sure to hit that subscribe button.